Hey, welcome back. My name's Justin, and today I'm breaking down every EFNOTE drum set in their entire lineup, from their cheapest to most expensive. We're going to talk about which ones I would avoid, which ones I think are the best value, and of course, everything in between. This is part of a series. I've already done a video on every Roland drum set, every Alesis drum set, and somehow my video from 2022 on Yamaha is still up to date as well, so go check out those videos too. They'll be in the description below. But first, today's video is brought to you by Edrum Center. If you're shopping for electronic drums, go give them a shot. They're a drum store based in Tennessee that just focuses on electronic drums. They really know their stuff. Use my discount link below if you want to buy anything, either electronic drum related or accessories wise. Okay, so to start off with, EFNOTE's kind of an odd case compared to the other companies I've already covered in the series because they don't have beginner electronic drums at all. This is kind of complicated. It relates to the fact that the factory that they work with to make their drums has their own beginner line, so they're not trying to step on toes. So the cheapest drum set they sell costs $1,900, and this is the EFNOTE 3. Just running through the sizes really quickly, this has an 8-inch kick drum, a 12-inch snare drum, the toms are 10, 10, and 12, and the cymbals are 12, 14, 14, and 16. This drum set is probably kind of enticing to some people because it's the cheapest one in their lineup. So if you like the brand as a whole, this is, the easiest way to get into the company. However, this is very close in price to the new and improved version. The EFNOTE 3 right here has been discontinued, it's on the way out, and this is actually clearance pricing. So I would probably go up an extra $300 because you're going to get a hi-hat on a stand, a two-piece design, and a larger kick drum. However, if you don't care about that sort of thing, this drum set is legitimately good. The next drum set is the EFNOTE 3 Style B. But don't be confused, sometimes this won't be labeled as the 3 Style B on all websites. Sometimes it will be labeled as the new EFNOTE 3. So this drum set costs $2,200. It's going to be a $300 price premium. And what you're getting is a 12-inch kick drum instead of the 8-inch one, and you're getting a two-piece set of hi-hats instead of a single hi-hat that's mounted on a stand. This comes on a literal hi-hat stand. So I feel like that makes this drum set feel more authentic. I do believe you need to buy that hi-hat stand separately though, just be aware of that. However, if you don't really care about having the hi-hat on a stand, and if you don't really care about a larger kick drum, those things don't matter to you, you could always drop down to the baseline EFNOTE 3. But for the vast majority of people, this is a value sweet spot in EFNOTE's lineup. It has a lot to offer here. I like this drum set. Now you might be thinking, that naming scheme's a little bit weird. The EFNOTE 3 Style B. Is there a Style A? And the answer is yes. It's just not going to be sold in North America from what I'm told. So the EFNOTE 3 Style A is the exact same thing as the Style B, but it only has one crash cymbal. I don't know what pricing will be like in the world regions that it's sold in, but it technically does exist. The next actual drum set is the EFNOTE Mini. This costs the exact same amount as the 3B, but it's got an acoustic form factor. This is very similar in situation to the TD17 KVX2 and the VAD 103. So this drum set comes with a 14x10 kick drum. The snare is 10x4.5. The toms are 8x6.5 and 10x10. For cymbals, you're getting a splash cymbal that's 8 inches across, 12-inch two-piece hi-hats, and a 16-inch ride cymbal. So who's this drum set for exactly? Well, EFNOTE says the main audience has been studios with limited space. But I could also see this as a fun little drum set for gigging at tiny venues like a coffee shop where you need a small kit, but you also want something that looks cool. Or even for kids learning how to play drums. It'd be perfect for that. Now, who's this drum set not for? Well, if you don't care about the acoustic form factor and you don't want a mini drum set, which of course is in the name, then the kit won't make any sense for your situation. Everything except for the kick drum is smaller somehow than the previous kit. So it's got a 2-inch smaller snare drum, high tom and floor tom. You also get a splash instead of 2 crash cymbals. And even the module has a few limitations. Like it has better sound expressiveness, but you get 8 pad inputs instead of 11, no sound layering, no 5-pin MIDI out, little things like that. Now, despite all that, I still enjoyed playing this drum set. I made a dedicated video about it, I sat down, I played it, I get it. It's about the vibes and space savings. But if you don't need a tiny drum set and you don't need something that looks kind of acoustic-like, well, then it won't be for you. If you do like those things, this drum set could be a great fit. Next up, we got the EFNOTE 3X. This drum set is similar to the 3B, but it's expanded in a bunch of ways. Costs $2,900, so that $700 extra gets you 4 toms instead of 3. You're getting larger cymbals across the board, 14-inch hi-hats instead of 12-inch hi-hats, 16-inch crashes instead of 14-inch crashes, and an 18-inch ride cymbal instead of a 16-inch ride cymbal. So I like this kit. It even has a darker shell wrap that I think looks nicer. I enjoyed playing this. I could highly recommend it. But playing devil's advocate, if you don't really need to have 4 toms and you don't really care about larger cymbals, then the EFNOTE 3B is technically a better value per dollar. Next up, we got the EFNOTE 5, which is the exact same price as the 3X. So what you're getting for this drum set is like a larger version of the EFNOTE Mini. You're not going to get like a 20-inch kick drum or anything like that. You still have to go up in price before you get those larger shell sizes, but it's the next step up. So what you're getting here is a 16x12 kick drum, a 12x5 snare, the Tom 1 is 10x7, and Tom 2 is 12x12. The cymbals are 8 inches for the splash, 14-inch hi-hats, a 16-inch crash, and an 18-inch ride cymbal. This is the drum set that they're putting in Guitar Centers now. So while it's hard to play most of the EFNOTE lineup unless you go to NAMM, you can find an EFNOTE 5 at least in Guitar Centers in Tennessee, where I live. So this drum set's great. I like it because it's similar to the Mini, but it has more fully fleshed out shell sizes. The 3X is technically a better value per dollar because you get more stuff. But yeah, this is a nice drum set. Next up is the EFNOTE 5X. It's exactly what it looks like. It's a bigger version of the EFNOTE 5. You're getting a second floor tom that's 13x13 and a second crash that is 16 inches, just like Crash 1, in addition to the splash cymbal. This costs $3,800, so you're basically spending, $900 to get 2 more components and a darker shell wrap that, in my opinion, looks nicer than the sparkle white finish. I like this drum set. Whether or not it's worth the extra $900 will be a personal decision. Me personally, I'd rather have the fully fleshed out drum set like this. This is a fun kit. Next up is the EFNOTE 7. This is their largest shell pack sizing. So if you want to get the 20-inch kick drum, you want to get the 15-inch floor tom, that's what this drum set is going to give you. Now, of course, you're bumping down in the number of components again, so the EFNOTE 5X will be $400 cheaper and give you more stuff, but this drum set is basically like the EFNOTE 5, but bigger. One thing that you'll notice about playing this kit is that you're getting a 20-inch ride cymbal. And if you're only used to playing 16-inch rides or even 18-inch rides, you can really notice a difference when just sitting down and looking at the kit. If you're looking for reasons not to buy this drum set, well, basically this is an EFNOTE 5, but without a splash, and it costs an extra $1,300. So if you don't care about getting like the 20-inch ride cymbal and the 20-inch kick drum, the EFNOTE 5 offers a similar experience. The next drum set is the EFNOTE Pro 500 Standard. And here's where we get into tricky territory because now we're getting a drum set that actually is smaller than the previous kit, even though it costs an extra $800. But you're getting the Pro module instead of one of the standard modules from EFNOTE, like the 3, 5, or 7. All those modules, even though they had different names, were very, very similar to each other in terms of specs, which is why I haven't even really covered the differences because they're so minor. The Pro module is definitely better though, in a couple of ways. Actually, a whole list of ways. I'll put them on screen. First is you're getting a ton of inputs and outputs. You're getting 15 drum and cymbal inputs, so the drum set can be physically larger. You're getting 12 XLR outputs with groundless switches, and you're getting all kinds of other stuff. You're getting a color screen. You're getting higher quality samples built into this. The interface has cool things like this global panning menu that is just cool. This is just a more pro level module. The downside, though, again, is that the drum set became smaller, and if you're just playing this at your house, you might not need to spend all that extra money to get all these inputs and outputs that you might not use. This is really aimed at people that are buying a kit for playing live a lot. If you're gigging all the time, you want to have all this stuff. And for people that are buying this drum set as a house kit for like a small venue or a church that is in a smaller room and they don't want the stage volume to be up. So this is great for those situations. For the person at home though, this might be overkill. The next drum set is the EFNOTE 7X. So this costs $5,200. It's a $200 price premium on the previous kit. And what you're getting here is a fully flushed out version of the EFNOTE 7. This is like the 5X, but it's bigger. So you're getting a 20x15 kick drum, 14x5.5 snare drum. You get 11x8, 13x13, and 15x15 toms. And for cymbals, you're getting 8, 14, 16, 17, and 20. This 17-inch cymbal is kind of like a effect cymbal, like an ozone cymbal from Sabian. For most people that aren't playing live, this is where you'll probably find the best value in EFNOTE's lineup. Yeah, the EFNOTE Pro module will sound nicer, but if you don't need all the inputs and outputs and all the fancy stuff, this drum set gives you a ton of stuff for $5,200, and the sizing is really large. This drum set is very good for most people that are just buying this to have fun and maybe record themselves playing online. But of course, the main downside is that you don't get the very nicest module with the very nicest sounds and all the other Pro features. So it'll be up to you on whether or not the 7X makes sense or any of the other Pro series drum sets make sense. This is where we need to transition into talking about the Pro series because it gets confusing from here on out. Believe it or not, there's only 9 standard EFNOTE drum sets as of the filming of today's video, but there are 17 Pro Series drum sets. There are so many of them, I need to break down the logic on how they interconnect before we hit them one by one really quickly. The Pro kits come in 2 major flavors, the Pro 500 series and the Pro 700 series. The Pro 500 kits are the smaller ones. They're built around an 18-inch ride cymbal, 16-inch kick, and 12-inch snare drum, so it's the more compact sizing. While the Pro 700 kits are built around their larger sizes, so a 20-inch ride, 20-inch kick, and 14-inch snare drum. So from there, they offer 7 drum and cymbal combos that expand beyond this. And they all have their own names, so here's how that looks. First up is the Pro 500 Standard and 700 Standard. They come as a 1-up, 1-down setup with a single crash cymbal. Pricing is $5,000 or $6,100 if you want the larger kit. Next up is the Pro 501 and 701 Traditional. It comes with 3 toms and 2 crashes. Pricing here is $5,800 or $6,900. Next up, you got the Pro 502 702 Modern, which comes with a smaller first high tom, a splash, a regular crash, and an effect-looking ozone cymbal. Pricing here is $6,000 or $7,150 if you want the bigger kit. Next up is the 503 and 703 Power, which comes as a 1-up, 2-down configuration with a china and 2 crashes. Pricing here is $6,400 and $7,500. Next up is the 504 704 Technical, which has 3 high toms, 1 floor tom, an effect cymbal, splash, and 2 crashes. Pricing for these 2 is $6,800 or $7,900. Then you get the 505 705 Heavy, which gives you a 2-up, 2-down configuration, a china, 2 crashes, and one of which is 18 inches across. That pricing is $7,100 or $8,300. Then you get the 506 706 Progressive, which is a 2-up, 2-down, but the high toms are shifted up 1 size. You get a china, effect cymbal, splash, 2 crashes, and the pricing is $7,400 and $8,500. And then we got the 507 707 Complete, which gives you literally everything. So you're getting 5 toms, a china, splash, and just everything. This costs $8,200 or $9,300 for the bigger drum set. Now the last kit is a little bit of an outlier because it doesn't have a name at the end. It's just called the 703X. Obviously, because it has an X, that means that it's got the darker shell wrap, and it's a slightly different combination of drums and cymbals than the regular 703. An EFNOTE representative said that it's a specific combo of drums and cymbals that was picked with churches in mind for that style of music. I got a chance to play it at Edrum Center, and I like it a lot. It's a good drum set. So that's my best explanation on how the Pro Series works, as far as like the naming scheme and how the drum sets are related to each other. The problem, though, is that when you look at them on a website, it's going to be in order of price. And so when you look at it in that context, it's actually going to be staggered more than the way I explained it. So let's just take edrumcenter.com right here. The cheapest kit is the 500, then it's the 501, then it's the 502, then it's the 700, then it's the 503, 504, then it's the 701, then it's the 505, 702, 506, 703, 704, 703X, then the 507 Complete, and then we have the 700 kits. Now, like I said, this is more suited for the pro audience or venues that just want a house kit that need all those extra inputs and outputs. Most people would be fine just buying the EFNOTE 7X. You don't need to go all the way up to $9,300. But the EFNOTE Pro Series does exist if you do have those higher end needs or you just want the best of the best. All right, now a couple of extra things I want to mention here at the end. The first is, if you feel like this video didn't go into enough detail on certain drum set comparisons, there is a comparison tool on the EFNOTE website that I'll put up here on screen. It's really handy because you can actually select all the drum sets or any of the individual drum sets from the standard series. Unfortunately, they haven't added all the pro kits. If I want to compare the baseline EFNOTE 3, the old one versus the new one, I can select both of those and I can scroll through here and see a detailed breakdown of literally everything. Something I find kind of interesting is that over here, they give a star rating to sound expressiveness. They are claiming that there is less sound expressiveness in the EFNOTE 3, Style A, Style B, 3X. Then you get a bump when you go to the EFNOTE Mini, the 5, and the 5X, and then you get another bump when you go to the 7 and the 7X. The second thing I want to mention is that this video is complete as of the filming of today's video, but depending on when you're watching it, there could be another drum set that came out after I made this. So keep an eye out on the channel for videos on dedicated new releases from EFNOTE. I usually cover those in individual videos. But hopefully this is giving you an idea, a breakdown of what EFNOTE has to offer, which kits you might be interested in, which ones you'd probably skip, and all that stuff. Watch the other videos in the series. Have an awesome day, and I'll see you in the next one.